You're fired! Not you. Alok. But why? David, I don't need to explain to you why you're fired. But Alok, you gotta tell me the reason why you're firing me. No, there are so many reasons, but I can't forgive what you just did. And are you referring to this wrong statistic in the presentation? Absolutely! I can't afford to get embarrassed in front of the board of directors. So I can't deal with this anymore. Please get out before I call security. Alok, can you just give me one chance? No! Get out now! Toastmaster, dear friends, what had just happened? Raise your hand if ever you were a victim of a boss who shouted at you. That was an emotional outburst. And that nasty guy was me. That nasty guy was me when I first became a boss. But you see, my company dealt with me. My company tolerated all my nuances. Why? Because I was a high performer. I was a great sales producing manager. Now that's a different question, that nobody survived or stayed with me for more than a year and everyone quit. But they would still tolerate with my nuisance. They would still tolerate with my firings. And in spite of the fact so many complaints to HR would just put a blind eye because the numbers used to speak well. That was me in my professional life. Now, let me take you to the personal life. Raise your hand if you ever had a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Okay, now this is the story of my fiancée. Her name was Gina. So this was an incident when it was my birthday and she comes and meet me and she brings this beautiful flowers and she goes, Alok. And I said, Gina, what's that? I thought it's your birthday. I got some flowers for you. But Gina, you know I don't like flowers. It's a waste of money. They die tomorrow. They die in a week. Why do you get flowers for me? I don't want those flowers. Get them away from me. Tears started rolling in her eyes and she said, but Alok, everyone loves flowers. How can you hate flowers? And I was, no, I don't want them. Get out. And I don't want to talk to you anymore. Let's meet tomorrow. And Gina went away. Friends, our relationship lasted, but our meetings reduced. Once we used to meet every week, then it was every quarter, and then maybe one phone call twice or once in a year. That was Gina, and she was contemplating to break up with me. My fiancé, engaged, about to get married, contemplating to leave this nasty guy. But every dog has his day, and mine was planned as well. Now let me take you a little bit forward. I had many friends, and normally nasty guys have nasty friends. So I had one nasty man called Jack. And this was an incident when we were sitting in a restaurant and having a nice beer and lunch. And I saw something unusual. The lady who was serving us on the table, she was pink, she was red. And this was not glowing of beauty, but because she was unwell. Her eyes were heavy, and I could see that she was shivering while she was working. She came to our table, took our order, and while she was pouring this beer to Jack, suddenly her hand started shivering. And that beer bottle, it was her unlucky day, fell on that table. You know what? Jack's meticulously ironed suit almost got dirty. And he rose up and full throttle, he said, "You stupid girl, you see what you do? This is a Versace. How can you throw beer over there? Call your manager now." And the manager came. Now this girl started sobbing, tears, shivering, as if she's going to collapse and fall down on the floor. But Jack went on, and this time I was not feeling what Jack was feeling. I was feeling what this girl was feeling. And something inside me was crying for her. I tried to pacify Jack, but Jack wouldn't listen. He would go on and on and on until he could go no more, and he sat down and we left the restaurant. That happened a couple of years back, but that night I could not sleep, friends. I could not sleep that night. That night I went home and all those memories of the people I had shouted on, all those memories of people I had fired, all those memories of emotions I had hurt came rushing back one after the other, and I cried. I cried, my friends, all night, repentance. And when I looked at my watch, it was 4 a.m. in the morning. All night I was crying, thinking of what a nasty, mean person I was. And then I made a resolution, I will cry no more. I made a list of all the people I could remember I had shouted upon, I had given those impulsive outbursts upon. I made that list, took a shower, got out, and I started calling each one by one. Now this was not easy for me. I could not undo what I had done. I had broken their feelings, I shattered their hearts, but I could reduce their pain. I could reduce their pain, and I tried my best to reach out to every person I could through emails, through phone calls, by meeting them personally, and this lasted for a couple of weeks till I reached my last person and I felt better. What happened? What happened? I don't know what happened, but after that I could shout no more. I could shout no more, and after that I became a completely different calm person. I would shout maybe in Toastmasters, but I would not shout at anyone and not hurt anyone. If I can leave you what one of the biggest insight I got in the last 1 minute, it is this, and listen very carefully. When you shout at someone, it's an emotional outburst. You become a slave. You become a slave of your emotional impulse. It is like a current which goes through your spine and it takes over your mind. Your brain stops working and you're no longer you. You are someone else. And when such a thing happens, pause and repeat these words said by an ancient sage. The greatest impulse or emotional outburst we have is anger. And he said, anger is like a glowing, burning coal which you hold in your hand to throw on the person you hate. But the only person who gets burnt is you. Thank you.